Hi, Yellow 6 students. This is Mrs. Shomura-Takata, and I'm going to be talking to you guys about the writing process and types of writing and the colors we will be using when we do Step Up to Writing. So all of this actually falls under the umbrella of Step Up to Writing. So Step Up to Writing is a way of organizing your writing so that it kind of makes sense to the reader. And we know you guys have a lot of different ideas, but one of the things the teachers have experienced is that students who have a lot of ideas but there's no organization have a hard time communicating clearly their ideas. So we use Step Up to Writing to help with the organization of your writing. Okay, and this falls mostly for expository and argumentative and informational writing. This is a little bit different than writing a story. Okay, so you have in your Google Class a slideshow, and it's this one right here, Step Up to Writing digital resource. And I'm going to go over the first 4 slides with you. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to present it so that you could see it a little bit better, I hope. Let's see. Okay, so this is the first slide, and this basically goes over the writing process. One thing the teachers have noticed is that a lot of times students want to just do the writing assignment and that's it. They've done it once and they're done. But when it's an important writing piece, it really should go through an actual process. So these are the 6 steps to the writing process that you should really be when you're writing a pretty important writing piece, like, say a summative or embedded assessment, that you should kind of follow this writing process, because then that will help you maybe hopefully get a better grade on your writing, because you'll really know what's in there, and there's a actual step. So the first step is pre-writing. So pre-writing, a lot of times you will remember probably from elementary schools, where you kind of brainstorm and you think about your topic. Sometimes when you're in class, especially when we were in the classroom, your teacher would just ask you to write something down and it's just really quick. So that could also be pre-writing. But if you look at the definition here, let me see if I can use the pointer. Okay, I'm going to use the pointer here. So right here, look at that fancy pointer. It means that there will be times you will have a very short amount of time for pre-writing. And then other times, like what you'll experience a lot of times in language arts, is you'll have a lot more time. So you can put more effort into the pre-writing when you need to research or discuss or analyze or compare and think about your topic. So after you do the pre-writing, you will plan. Now, planning means taking deliberate steps to organize your thoughts and ideas. Planning should be linear. So you would use a T-chart. And those of you who don't know what a T-chart is, I'm assuming maybe many of you, we're going to get into that when we get into Step Up to Writing. You will use a T-chart to help you organize your information. And this good planning will help save you time and frustration, because you'll be able to organize and visualize your writing. You will use your plan when you write, but remember that writers always are kind of adding and deleting and changing parts as they need while they are writing as well. So after the pre-writing and after the planning, you will then do your draft. So most writers make several drafts before they have a final polished copy. The number of drafts you have will depend on the assignment and the amount of time you have available. So again, remember, if it's a real quick writing activity, you're not going to have a lot of time to do drafts. But for something like a Springboard embedded assessment, you do have time, that your teachers are going to give you time to do drafts, okay? Sometimes your first draft will be your one and only. And again, that's a really quick writing. But other times you'll have several opportunities to draft and revise and edit. So here comes the next step, revise. So when you are revising a writing, you will want to think of the word arms. Okay, so if you look at the pointer there, the word arms can help you remember how to revise a draft. The A in arms stands for add sentences or words. Okay, the R in arms stands for remove unneeded sentences and words. So sometimes, even me personally, I've noticed in students writing, they'll have all of this stuff, but then some of it is unnecessary. You don't need that. So things that you don't need, you should pull out. M in arms stands for moving sentences around in the paragraph or in the writing piece, and even maybe changing the word order of a sentence so that it's a little bit clearer. And the word S stands for substitute words or sentences for others. One thing that the teachers notice is that we want you guys to vary your sentences. We don't want all your sentences to start with the word the or my, or, you want to vary the sentence beginnings. You want to vary the way the sentences are written. You want some long sentences. You want some short sentences. That will all help your writing be better and more sophisticated. Okay, so for this revise, when you revise, you will want to ask yourself some important questions. Does this writing make sense to someone who is not me? So remember, when you're writing, a lot of times for school, you're not writing for yourself. You're writing for your teacher or your classmate to read. And does your writing make sense to them? Okay. Is my information correct? That's a pretty big one. Do the words or sentences flow in an orderly fashion? And that's where Step Up to Writing comes in. Do my sentences have details and descriptions? And so far from what I've seen in some of my own students writing is they like to write really minimal. And that's okay sometimes, but not all the time. So you have to make sure that you have extra details and descriptions, especially when you're writing a big writing piece. So that's for revising. Editing is a little bit different. So for revise, you think of the word arms. For editing, you think of the word cups. And cups can help you remember how to edit a draft. So the C in cups stands for capitalization. So you want to ask yourself, have you capitalized sentences? Have you capitalized names? Have you capitalized the names of places? Or have you capitalized the word I? Okay. The U in cups stands for usage. Do the subjects and verbs match? Are you using the correct verb tense in your sentences? The P stands for punctuation. Have you used correct punctuation? Have you used punctuation? Okay, make sure you do that. And the S in cups stands for spelling. Are your words spelled correctly? You really want to try to put forth your best effort, especially for a big writing project, that you've spelled your words correctly. Okay, so after you do your revisions and your edits, sometimes, like it says in the draft, you will have to keep kind of going back and forth. As a teacher, when I'm doing things too, when I'm making worksheets and things like that, I'm constantly revising and editing. And even when I have a worksheet done for 1 year, I will go back and look at it, and then I will probably often change it for the next year because I feel like maybe there's a better way to say this, or maybe this part doesn't make sense, so I have to change it. So mature writers kind of always know that we got to keep changing things. It's never just, okay, we're done. We're good. This is great. I'm going to use it for the rest of my life. Okay. So the last part of the writing process is your final copy. And when you create your final copy, remember that this is the time for your writing to shine. If you've been taking the drafting, revising, and editing steps of the writing process seriously, this part should be really easy. You will use your best penmanship, or, for right now anyways, your word processing skills. We want you to be neat and keep appropriate margins, spacing, and font sizes. So remember, when you're typing things, you don't want your font to be super small so your teachers have a hard time. We're not young like you with good eyes. So you have to kind of think about us, especially because we're going to be grading your writing. Okay, so I'm going to go to the second slide. So there are two types of writing that most writing falls into. So we have over here the expositive, informative, and argumentative, which is straightforward information. So in this type of writing, you will have an introduction. And the introduction has these things: a hook, which is blue, and I'll explain the colors later, plus a topic sentence for a paragraph, which is green. Or if it's a multi-paragraph essay, it'll be a hook and a thesis statement. So that's all part of the introduction. After the introduction, you'll have the body of your writing. And in the body, you will include a transition word or phrase, plus a RDF, which are key ideas. And we will color code that in yellow, and I will get to that in the next few slides. You will also have E's, which are explanations, elaboration, evidence, and examples. And those are color coded pink or red. And you will also have commentary, which is purple. And that's all part of the body of your writing. Then you will have a conclusion. And in the conclusion, you will restate your topic, which will be green. And sometimes you will have a call to action. And I can't see behind it, which will also be green. Okay. Another type of writing is a narrative writing. And that is where there's a story and there's some suspense, secrets, or surprises. And a narrative is usually what you read when you're reading a fiction book. So there'll be a beginning that establishes the characters and the setting. There will be a middle that explains the plot, the events, incidents, conflict, problem, climax, and the response. And then there will be an end that reveals a solution or end result and or a reflection. Okay, so what I want to tell you is that for the step up to writing, we are going to be focusing on this writing, the expository, informative, argumentative at this point. Okay, so we're going to go on to the next one. So this is the slide that's called Elements of Expository Writing. So if you notice, there are some icons here that can help remind you of information. But for this first one, organization is the key in expository writing. You will use the colors of a traffic light and a T-chart outline to plan a paragraph, an essay, or a report. So here's a heart. Topic sentences are the heart of expository writing, and TS stands for topic sentences. So you will use green, the color green, to remind yourself to go and tell your reader what you're going to prove or explain in your writing. So in a multi-paragraph essay, the topic sentence is called a thesis statement. But for us, what we're going to do in first quarter is going to be kind of more or less focused on topic sentences, for now anyways. So green is the first color that you will be using in Step Up to Writing. And the next picture is a picture of glue. And star ideas with transitions are the glue for your writing. You will use yellow to remind yourself to slow down and introduce key ideas. Star ideas are the sentences that introduce new ideas with a clear transition. So in a traffic light, yellow typically means slow down. Now I know some adults think yellow means speed up and go through the light. But the original intent of a yellow light is, hey, slow down, get ready to stop. Okay? So your yellows are going to be your star ideas, and they will include transitions. So just know that yellow is the second color. The next picture is of meat. And those are the E's. Examples, evidence, and explanation, the E's, are the meat of your writing. You will use pink or red to remind yourself to stop and explain and elaborate. E's are examples, evidence, explanation, elaboration, etc. And they will help support your yellow star ideas. And then the last main color, the basics of Step Up to Writing, is a conclusion. Now, conclusions tie it all together, and that's why there is a gift at the bottom. You use green again because this will remind you to go back and remind your reader about your topic. A good conclusion reminds your reader about the purpose of your writing. When you are writing, especially expository, there is a purpose for writing because you are trying to inform or give information to somebody. Okay? All right, I'm going to go on to the next slide. So here are the colors of the traffic light that we will use for paragraphs when you are doing Step Up to Writing. So, green, go. This is the beginning. So the color is green, and you will go write a topic sentence. After green is slow down, which is yellow. And slow down means give a star idea. I think in the other slide it said RDF, and I'm probably going to change that now that I'm going over this more in depth. So star idea, which is an important idea, and you will also need to have a transition. Okay, so this is all in yellow. Then you will stop, and that is a pink or a red. Stop means you will explain, you will give an example, you will elaborate, and you will give evidence. So it's filling your writing with more explanation, okay? And then the last color is green again, and it means to go back, and that is the conclusion, and go back and remind the reader of your topic. So you start off telling the reader what your topic is going to be. You then explain your topic in the yellow and the reds, pinks and reds. And then at the end, you go back and you tell them, this is what I talked about. This is what you read about in my writing. Okay, so in your composition book, hold on, let me grab mine. In your composition book, you have these pages. And I'm going to escape here out of this, and I think I'm going to go to full screen. Okay, so in your composition book, the language arts side, you have this writing process page that I went over. You have the types of writing page. And then you have this examples or elements, of expository writing. Now this page in your composition book is all black and white, right? We didn't do it in color. So what I want you to do for your homework tonight is you are going to take those colors that are on that slideshow that I just went over that is in your Google Class, and I want you to copy the color coding, the highlighting. Okay, so make sure in this first, this one, yes, this one, it's green. Okay, and then in this one it's yellow, and this one it's pink or red, and the bottom is green. Now I want to remind you, if you don't have a highlighter, that's okay. You can use a crayon or you can use a color pencil, and you don't have to go over the words. You can just kind of underline the words, okay? Because the point of highlighting is you want to be able to see the print. So you don't want to just color over it so that you cannot read what's underneath. Okay, so I want you to do this page. So that's part of your homework. And then you will go on to this page that has the stoplights, and you will just copy the way you colored it, or the way it was colored on the slideshow. So again, the green, the yellow, the pink or the red, and then the green again. So just copy the highlighting from that slideshow. Okay, that's all you have to do tonight for homework. And so if you have any questions, you know how to contact your teachers. You can email them. Oh, where are we here? You can email them. You can Google Voice them. You can come to office hours. Okay? So all you have to do today for homework is highlight this one in the correct colors, slide 3 and slide 4 in your composition book. Okay? So thank you, and remember, this is a video, so if I was going too fast, pause. If you didn't understand, rewind and play it again. Okay? You guys can do this. We're excited to start you on this next part of language arts where you're going to get into writing more. Okay? Have a good day. Thank you. Bye.